Uh, Good evening. Myself, Savita Desai. A very warm welcome to our today's resource person, Mrs. Samruddhi Kotivaskar, Honorable Principal, Mr. B.S. Pandey, and all participants from various institutions. Today, we are here for national level workshop on making e-lecture vibrant and interactive that is organized by Information Technology and Computer Science Department from Rajiv Gandhi College of Arts, Commerce, Science, Vashi. The college is affiliated to the University of Mumbai and NAC accredited with the grade B. If learning is an act of exploration, then technology equips the explorer for the journey of a lifetime. So, as an explorer, we, Rajiv Gandhi College, has taken a step ahead by organizing an innovative and vibrant session today, which offers a great opportunity for all of us to learn and deliver digital lectures. To address today's session on the national level workshop, I would like to call Honorable Principal Mr. B.S. Pandey sir to say a few words. Over to sir.
Thank you, Savita madam. Namaskar. On behalf of Rajiv Gandhi College, first I would like to welcome all of you in this national level webinar. And I would like to extend a very warm welcome and special thanks to Mrs. Samruddhi Kutibhaskar madam from SIS College Nehru, as she has accepted our invitation to be the resource person for today's session. So, okay. So on this situation of COVID-19 outbreak, since we all are in lockdown position and we all are trying to adopt ourselves in this new situation. So all of my colleagues, my dear teachers, I would like to congratulate the Department of IT and Computer Science for organizing such a interesting webinar for all of us. I'm very much positive that this webinar will give us a lot of clarity regarding e-content and making the content interesting. So let us start. Although it was not always difficult, because previously we used to give face-to-face lecture, but this Corona time, this COVID-19 times have given us an opportunity to learn new things. As a teacher, learning is never-ending process for us, and this Corona time has given us a lifelong learning opportunity, because every day we are going through a lot of webinars, lot of workshops are going on, and we are learning new things. Yeah, it was a big challenge for all of us, because whenever we are talking about e-learning, it is somewhere in our mind that it cannot replace face-to-face teaching, as we are habitual. We all are habitual of face-to-face teaching. We all are habitual of classroom teaching. So when it comes to online, when it comes to e-teaching, many of us are not familiar. And even though if we are trying to develop some content, we are trying to interact with students through different platform like Zoom app or Microsoft Team, which we have connected today, it is not so easy, because students cannot feel our presence. So what challenges we are facing, how we can overcome with such problem, how we can make our lecture, how we can make our content effective. Samriddhi madam is going to deal more about this. As we all know, Vidya Pranamam Balam. This knowledge is the supreme strength. Whenever we are talking about knowledge, yeah, if we are having knowledge, it is the biggest strength which person can have. And we, as a messenger of the knowledge, we are the one who bridge that gap between the knowledge and the student. So first, we have to equip ourselves. First, we have to work on our ability to enhance with such quality. Then only we can deal with the students. So by today's session, we would try to learn how to make our e-lectures interesting and for students by use of memes and different things which we can inculcate in our e-content, in our e-lecture, to make it more interesting, and we can generate more interest among students for our lectures. Because as an influencer, as a teacher, we have to influence them, because now a lot of content is available online. A child is having easy access to everything. So as a teacher, our role is very different. We have to mold them in right direction. We have to help them in right direction. Then only they will be in position to overcome this situation. I know this all these things are very difficult for all of us, but I'm very much sure that after Madam's lecture, we all will have a lot of things which we can use in our lecture, and we can make it more interesting and more knowledgeable. So I'm very much thankful to Samriddhi ma'am, very much thankful to my department of ITCS coordinator Neta Yadav ma'am and all the teachers for offering such a webinar. And I would like to congratulate all the participants for joining us. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Mata.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable support and guidance. Now I request to our coordinator Anita Yadav to introduce today's resource person. Over to Anita
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you, Savita ma'am. Good evening, all of you. I, Anita Yadav, coordinator of ICT, would like to welcome you all on the behalf of the College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Situation of COVID-19, the world facing. So, to achieve the new educational opportunity with the progressive thinking and innovative methods in teaching and learning, we all must have to adopt and upgrade ourselves with the new skills. To nurture new methodology in teaching and learning, our college and department has taken an initiative in the form of this workshop. I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Ms. Samruddhi Koti Bhaskar. She has done Masters in Information Technology. The ma'am is set certified. Currently, she pursues for PhD. She has a 8 year of teaching experience and currently working as a associate professor in SIS College of Arts, Commerce and Science in IT department. It's my great pleasure to introduce ma'am to continue with this session. So, ma'am, welcome, ma'am, and it's over to you.
I would request all the participants to kindly mute your mic and please keep your videos off so that you will be able to listen to me properly and you would be able to see the content that I wish to share with you all. Thank you so much. Good evening, one and all. Firstly, I would like to thank Rajiv Gandhi College of Arts, Commerce and Science, respected Principal Professor B.S. Pandey sir, ITCS Coordinator Ms. Anita Yadav ma'am for giving me this opportunity. As sir lightly said that this corona pandemic was totally unexpected and we are going through very different, I won't say it is difficult, but these are different times. So, but every problem or every different time has a hidden opportunity inside it. So this pandemic also has given us an opportunity to go digital, explore various platforms. And as you all are aware that we are teachers, we are perpetual learners. We are supposed to learn. And so we are going to explore various platforms, tools in order to enhance our teaching expertise. Conducting e-lectures is now the new routine. We are used to face-to-face and classroom environment, but now this digital platform is our new reality. And transformation to this digital platform, even though it is challenging, but it will definitely augment our skill sets. I hope all of you agree with me. If you do, kindly please type yes in your chat boxes. I would love to hear to your response because this session is going to talk about interaction. So if you agree with me, please type yes. Yes, this is our new reality. E-lectures is our new reality. Yes, I can see a lot of yeses coming in. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing with me. Yes, thank you so much. All right, so to start off this lecture or this session, I want to focus on certain challenges that we are going to, or rather we are facing these days. So let us start. I will just start off my presentation. I hope my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? Okay. All right. So today's session, I'm going to speak about making your e-lectures vibrant and interactive. I am sure many of you might have attended a lot of FDPs, webinars. We are right now in a race of attending these webinars. I truly understand that. So I want you all to have a separate experience. All of you might be knowing the ins and outs of the e-content by now. So my focus is to introduce a tool which will help you to understand how you can make your sessions interactive and interesting, intriguing for the students. All right. So, as I said, let us focus on certain challenges. So, the challenges that I have encountered in my lectures, I'm listing that. You may be having some other challenge as well. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, that is one of the challenge that we are facing right now. But for me, it means camera consciousness. We are not comfortable in front of the camera. We are definitely not comfortable. It's a different experience for us. Operations, we are not familiar with the platforms. There are various platforms, but we never ever bother to explore these platforms. So now we have to explore these platforms. Reciprocation, we have no idea whether the students will reciprocate. We are delivering the lecture, whether they will respond to it, that's a big fat question mark. Obstinacy, this means resistance to adapt to new changes. We ourselves are resistant. We are so used to the original ways that we are always resistant to incorporate the new things. Sometimes you're very enthusiastic, sometimes there is a bit of a resistance, whether it will work, no, there is a lot of confusion. So same thing happens with the students as well. Networking, communication among students, communication for teacher and students. See, as you can see right now, I am speaking, you are listening. It is more like a one-way communication. I have no idea whether you are actually listening, no offense. But that is something that we are not sure of. The same thing happens with the children as well. And children are used to sitting in the lecture, speaking to their friends in between when the teacher is not looking. So all these things become a bit of a challenge for them as well to get onto this particular platform. So that is networking challenge. And lastly, and the most important that you might have learned, that is attention span. The attention span for online sessions is very less, even as compared to your classroom setting. So these are certain 6 of them challenges that I have encountered in my e-session. So I have listed them out. I have given them numbers. A quick little exercise, or I want your opinion. Kindly type the number of the challenge that you feel is the most serious or the most gravest of all. So if you could just let me know, please type in the challenge number in the chat box, which you feel is one of the gravest. Okay, I can see 6. Yes, kindly please type in. I hope you can see my screen, the challenge numbers. Yes, you can select multiple as well. Yes, please type in. All right. Very nice. Okay. Great. So as I can see, majority of you have selected challenge number 6 as one of the serious or gravest challenges of all, and that is attention span. I do agree with you. I definitely agree with you, because other things to some extent we can control. Attention span takes a lot of efforts from our end to control. So let me just brief you about how you can manage these challenges. First is camera consciousness. There is only one option to manage it. That is, you have to practice, you have to rehearse, you have to stand in front of mirror or your selfie camera, and you have to rehearse out your lectures. That is the only way you can be okay with being in front of the camera. Not everybody is okay with being in front of the camera. Operations, platforms which are available, you have to dig in a bit deeper. You have to understand which platforms are available, which is convenient for your classroom setting. You should also understand what resources are available with the students, and then choose an appropriate platform. Learn it yourself and then make sure that kids are learned of that as well. These days, that doesn't become a big of a challenge, because आजकल उल्टा होता है, बच्चे हमें सिखाते हैं, which is a good thing. Why not? Okay, the third challenge, that is reciprocation. Just to ensure that the kids are there while your e-lecture is going on, you can randomly pick up a student. See, you can see the attendees list. You can randomly point out to a student, there's student A, B, C, please answer this question. So if he does answer, he's there. If not, he's not there. But any which ways, this to some extent you can control, to some extent we cannot. We have to get accustomed to certain disadvantages which cannot be overcome with the online, because online e-lectures cannot be a replacement for offline. That's a fact. So we have to deal with the fact, but we have to make sure that it is more comfortable for students as well as for the teachers who are using this platform. Obstinacy, resistance. We ourselves are resistant. Then first thing is to make up our own mind. Make us adapted to these changes. If we are not adapted to these changes, how do you expect students to adapt? So first, foremost, you have to work on your own resistance, and then you can ask the students, you can convince them. Once you are self-convinced, you can definitely convince others. Networking again, for networking, you can ensure that the kids are divided into groups. See, various platforms, they have certain capacities like breakout rooms, then they have certain project rooms wherein you can just divide the students in a team or a group, and you can tell them that you can talk amongst yourself and do some particular group activity. Even that is possible. So they would be communicating amongst themselves and they won't be communicating with you. So when there is no watchful eye, they would be comfortable and they would definitely be open with their friends. So networking could be dealt with the help of these features. Now coming to the last and the most important and rather the point of discussion of today's session, that is attention span. To make sure that the attention span of the student is enhanced, what we can do to make our e-lectures interactive is we can make use of certain tools which are available, which have been available since quite number of years. We never bothered to explore them rather. So, and now that we are attending so many webinars and workshops and FDPs, I am sure many of you might have seen some of these tools. So before I move ahead, can you type in the tool that you may have learned about from some webinar or some FDP, just general, just name it out, whichever tool it is. One example is Kahoot. So that was one tool which I learned in one particular e-content development session. So any of the tools which you might have seen, kindly type it into a chat box. I would like to know which tools you are aware of. Yes, please. Yeah, Kahoot, Zoom. Zoom is more like a platform. Okay, yes. Zoom, WebEx are more like platforms wherein you can conduct. I'm talking about the tools. Okay, yes, Neopod, yeah. Okay. MS Team, again, that's a platform. Canvas, yes. TestMoz. What else? Yes, please type in. Google Classroom is a very, very standard and a very popular tool. No doubt, and that is something, whenever we were asked to go digital, Google Classroom was the first thing that we opted for. Yes. KineMaster, MST. Okay, great, great. So all of us are on the same page. Very nice, very nice. All right. Moodle, yes, LMS, WebEx. So these are basically the platforms on which you're carrying out the online lectures. What I'm asking is what tools you use during those online lectures. If I'm having on Zoom, what exactly other applications that you can use? That was my question. Yes, Kahoot was one. Gmeet, okay. OBS. All right. So let me show you my list of quite number of popular tools that I have seen. So these are the various, there are more, and some of these are paid. Let me be very clear with you guys. Many of it are paid. Some of it come with a trial version, and after that they ask for a payment. So few of them are absolutely free. So I have generally divided them into 4 sections: quizzes, polling, whiteboards and doodles wherein you can draw diagrams, and there are interactive Q&A and bulletin boards. So these are various learning tools which you can use when your session is going on either on a Zoom or Meet or Cisco WebEx or OBS Studio, whatever it is. These are the additional tools which will enhance your lecture. It will enhance your e-session to make it more interactive so that students' attention is grasped. Students' attention span is enhanced. Our main focus is to make sure that students are there. They are not just logged in and they're moving here and there. Sometimes even we do that. I don't think that would be wrong to say that. Sometimes we even do that. But if the session is interesting, we are glued to our screens. The same thing, whatever happens with us is going to happen with our students. So you have to make sure that they are glued. Hello? Yes. Am I audible? Okay. Let me continue. So these are the various learning tools. I am going to talk about one tool. I want to give you a hands-on of one tool which you can use so that you can make your session interesting. That is my primary intention. It's a very simple and a basic tool. Nothing great about it. Rather, nothing great in case of using it. It is a very great to implement and it is very great to use. But implementation is very nice. Using it, incorporating it is a very easy job, but still I'll be demonstrating the same with you guys. So the tool that I have chosen for today's session is called as Quizy, or some of us may pronounce it as Quizizz or just Quizy. The reason for choosing this is it is very basic and simple to use. No difficult GUI, no difficult interface wherein you have to work on it. It's very simple to understand. We can play live quizzes. So when your e-session is going on, you can just tell the students to play this live quiz and you can see how they are doing it. So it will, and it appears in the form of games. Kids love games. That is a fact. So if you ask a kid how they are spending their time right now at their home, the first answer is they are playing PUBG or some other games. So they love games. So if we can teach them in a play way method, why not? Nextly, next important factor of Quizy is that it could be used for different subjects, especially mathematics. There are various quiz-related applications available online, but very few support maths equations. So this is one platform wherein you can put in mathematical equations because there are a lot of symbols involved. When you're talking about derivation, integration, you can do those quizzes as well. It is vibrant, it is colorful, there is a background music because it's like a game like GUI, and obviously there are funny memes. So one right answer, you will get a funny meme. Wrong answer, you'll get a funny meme. So it is very fun way of doing it. And the another good thing about it is you need not install any specific app for it. It can be accessed through desktop or mobile with the help of any browser. It is made in India. So basically the author or the programmers or the developers of this particular tool are Indians. So that is one good thing for us. Why not? And it is absolutely free. So there are no hidden charges, no trial periods. You can simply, anybody can log in, they can create their account and they can start using Quizy. So I hope this introduction is very, very clear. We can move ahead to the demonstration part. If yes, kindly please type yes in the chat box so I can know that we all are on the same page. Yes, can we please type in yes so I know that all of you are here? Very much, reciprocate. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay, so we'll move ahead with the demonstration part of how the sessions or how the quizzes could be done, carried out in your e-lectures with the help of Quizy. So first and foremost, we'll learn about account creation, which is a very simple task. I would recommend you all to use your Gmail account if you want to create an account in Quizy. That is mandatory. You need to create an account to get the full exposure of all the facilities which are available in the website. Gmail account, reason being, you can collaborate Quizy with Google Classroom. So there is a feature of importing all the classes from your Google Classroom right into the Quizy. So that is very easy, and most of us already have Google Classrooms in place. So it is easier for you to track the students, to import all the students to Quizy platform. All right, so let's start. So first you are going to open your browser. Just enter quizy.com. Please be careful about the spelling. So this is the screen of your Quizy. Please listen to the demonstration. So it could be used for schools as well as for work. So even for employees, for schools, this is the basic screen. Basic information is given. You can just scroll down and go through it. If you already have an account, you can log in, or you can click on Get Started or Sign Up button at the top right corner. So we'll click on Get Started. As I said, preferable is go with the Google account, or else you can enter any other email account as well. Google account, because Google Classroom could be collaborated easily. So let me click on Sign Up. Choose your Gmail account, whichever you are having. Enter your credentials. We'll click on Next. It will ask you whether you want to use Quizy as a teacher, as a student, as a business person, or a parent, or any other role. So obviously we want to use it as a teacher. So let's select as a teacher. So the moment you do that, this is your dashboard. This is a teacher's dashboard, wherein you can find a quiz, you can create a new quiz, and whatever quizzes that you create will come in your My Quizzes tab, which is on the left-hand side. Right now, we don't have any quiz, so nothing will turn up. You can create a quiz by clicking on the Create Quiz button as well. So this is your teacher's dashboard. Whenever you log in, this is the screen that you will see. So login process is quite simple and quite straightforward, nothing great about it. The only important thing you have to remember are the two important things. First, preferably use a Gmail account. I will stress on preferable. If you're not used to using Google Classrooms, then it is absolutely fine. You can use any other account as well. So preferably a Gmail account. And secondly, you have to choose as a teacher, because as a teacher, you can actually create a quiz which could be assigned to the students. As a student, your major part is only playing the quizzes. As a student, you can create quizzes, but they are not graded and there is no substantial standing to those quizzes. It's just a fun part for students to explore. So if you really want to keep a track of how students are performing, then as a teacher, login comes into picture, and that is most important. Okay, so we'll move ahead with creating a quiz. Now there are two options of creating a quiz. Quizy holds a lot of predefined quizzes which are created by somebody else. These are public quizzes, and there are a lot of questions which are available on these quizzes. Either you can choose to create a quiz on your own, that is define your own questions, define your own answers, or else you can simply import the questions which are created by other users. So the imported option is called as teleport in Quizy. So we'll be seeing both of it. Well, in this particular demonstration of this, we are going to check out the types of questions which are available, how we can add the questions, and also how we can teleport a question. So let's start. So this is your teacher's dashboard. So as you can see, after login, this is the screen that we are going to get. Find a quiz, or let's create a new quiz. So I'll create a new quiz. We will give a quiz name. Say, considering right now I'm using it for GK, general knowledge, so GK1. I can select relevant subjects through which these questions will be taking up. So English, maths, history, computers. The moment you select more than 3 subjects, it will give you an error message saying that maximum 3 subjects can only be chosen. So that's okay. So I am choosing computers, history. Okay, once you are selected the subjects, next is you can either write your own question or you can teleport from the Quizy library. So you have two options. So we'll first create our own. So write your own. So both the options are available. We'll see both. So these are the 5 types of questions which are available in Quizy. One is multiple choice, checkbox, fill in the blank type of question, poll, which is a voting question, and an open-ended question, which is not right, not wrong. So you can just accept any answer. So we'll see each question. So multiple choice. I have just implemented some basic questions. So say, who is the inventor of Apple? Yes. So let me give the options. Steve Jobs, Ambani, why not? Bill Gates, and lastly Isaac Newton. So if you're talking about Apple company, Isaac Newton won't be the, any which is Isaac Newton is not going to be the right option. So we can add more options. We can select the right one by clicking on the checkbox beside the right option. We can also give time. You can allot a time, say 5 seconds or some few minutes for attempting the question. So I have chosen 20 seconds, and on the right hand side you can see this is how it will appear on the screen, either on the desktop screen or on the mobile screen of the students. See, these time options that I have selected, that is 20 seconds. This is basically a time-based game. Usually what happens is whenever we create a quiz, why blame students? At times even, let me just accept, yeah, sometimes even I do that. If I don't know the answer, I will simply copy that question. I will put it into Google and I will try to find out the answer. So if we can do it, so can kids. So if they are doing that, that will take up a considerable amount of time. This is a time-based game, which means if you answer within 20 seconds, you score more points. Like for every right answer, they have 600 points. For every wrong answer, they have 0 points. So if you answer within those 20 seconds, so you will get additional points around 260 or 250, whatever it's their algorithm that gives you. And if that time is elapsed after 20 seconds, if you answer, then no extra points are awarded to you. So what happens is when multiple students are playing this game, the person who has actually studied will definitely answer it in a quick manner or in a prompt manner. So he is going to score more points. So we can always understand that who has attempted the quiz, how many right questions, and not just that, who has attempted it in a very quick manner. All right. So moving ahead, I can save the question. So this is how the question will appear. The red dots specify the wrong answer. The green dots specify the right answer. New question, we'll take a checkbox. So checkbox, multiple right answers. So let me write the question. What are the symptoms of corona infection? Very generic question. This is just for demonstration purpose. Yeah. So first is cold, cough, high fever, and last one is stomachache, which is definitely a wrong option. So let me select the right answers. Now this will have multiple right answers. You can add more options if you want, not necessarily just 4. We will assign time. Say you can have standard time for all the questions, or you can have different times for other different questions. So it's not fixed. It's as per your convenience. So save. So now we have 2 questions. All right, it looks nice. Okay, moving ahead, you can add the questions from these bottom buttons as well, or you can click on new question. Either ways. Next is fill in the blank. So let me give a fill in the blanks question. So let us type corona was first detected in dash province of China. I hope all of you are aware with this answer. So yes, answer is Wuhan. So at times what happens is your fill in the blanks may have multiple right answers, and you can give an alternative as well. So consider there are 2 provinces, Wuhan and Hubei. So both of them are right answers. Then you can give the alternative answer, but it is not so. So I'm going to remove Hubei. So there is only one answer. So whatever answer you gave, it will be case insensitive. The students may enter it in uppercase or lowercase, no problem at all. So Wuhan. Next, new question. We are going to take polls. Now, as you notice, polls are ungraded. They are always marked as correct. It's just that you want to see what is one particular option that is going to get maximum responses. Just the way I did at the beginning, right? I asked you which challenge number you want to post. So I could have easily done it with the help of a poll. And I could have found out that majority of you are saying challenge number 6. So let's create a poll question. So which country has shown remarkable development in last 5 years? Yeah, you can have different answers for this. My option, India, China, oh, not China, okay, China, sorry, Japan, and USA. So either the kid can select one option or you can also allow multiple selections also. So this is just, you have to see maximum answer options which are given. So there is no correct answer. It's just a voting system kind of a question. Next is open-ended question. Again, this has no right or wrong. It is just to express short answers, or you can ask for some opinions, certain personal interpretation questions. If you want to ask, you can use this type of a question. So let me write your opinion about corona pandemic. So there is no right or wrong. It's just an opinion. So for short answers or for personal interpretation, you can use this. You can also format the question. As you can see, there are certain tools. You can do it italic, you can do underline, you can change the color. There are a few colors which are available, so you can change it. Also, there are certain additional tools like a superscript that is raised to power, and additional if you're using some other language. So those symbols can be also be used. And as I said, you can incorporate a math or a maths equation. So you can do that by clicking on add math equation. As you can see, various symbols are available, derivatives, integration, log, limits, pi. Let me insert pi. So I'll select pi, I'll click on insert, the pi is inserted. So you can easily insert mathematical equations, which is rare. Then other symbols like alpha, beta, then you can see since, 3 dots, therefore, set theory. So you can insert that. This is equation editor. You can also insert an image by clicking on media. You can just select an image. You can drag drop or you can just select it. Let me select one image. Okay, so let me go to my desktop. Okay, so I have an image in this. Okay, this seems nice because it's an opinion, a smiley. So yes, my question is done. So I'll click on save. So now I have 5 questions. As you can see, we can reorder the questions by clicking on click to reorder. If you want to change the order, say the last question I want at the beginning. So I will bring it to the front. So now that will become my first. I'll move second question as the last and I'll click on done. So now my questions are reordered as per my request. Also, you can change the type of the question by clicking on edit. Initially, this is a multiple choice question. If I want to change it to something else, I'll click on edit and I'll select the type of question I want to convert it to, like checkbox, fill in the blanks, or open-ended, and simply click on save. So these are the questions I did. Now teleporting, we'll click on teleport. All the public quizzes which are available related to your heading of the quiz will be shown. I will just add this orange wala question. So I'll just click on add. So this question will now be added to my quiz. I can search for more quizzes related to GK because the title of my quiz is GK. So it is giving me all the quizzes which are related to GK. So as you can see, the question is teleported successfully. So I need not type it, my efforts are reduced if I can simply import the question. So even that could be done. If I want to add some maths questions, so I will simply select or I will type in maths. And I will click on search. So these are basic maths questions like for school kids. So this particular quizy could be used from kindergartens to professionals. So it depends on your requirement. So it has a wide variety of questions available. You can just go through them and you can add whichever you want. If you want specific, you can search for algebra or derivation, integration. You can be more specific. So I guess our quiz is now done. We have 5 self-made questions and 1 teleported question. 6 questions, and then we'll click on done. You can add the image of your quiz if you wish to. It's just a title image, no big deal. If you want to add, you can add. You can select the language, which will be English for us, definitely. Then we are supposed to select grades, as I said, from KG to anything. So let me select this quiz for 11th standard to university level, though it's not for them still. Next is whether you want to make it public or private. If you make it public, it will be visible to everyone. Anybody can search your quiz. If it is private, it is only visible to you and the people you share the link with. So save. And yes, our quiz is done. Our quiz is ready. So our GK1 quiz is done. It will appear in my quizzes. As you can see, it is played 0 times right now. Nobody has played it and it was created 10 minutes ago. So that's how our quiz is created. I hope this is very, very clear. If it is, can you please type in yes? Yes.
There are some questions in
Yes.
the chat box.
Yes. Is it okay if I answer the questions towards the end of the session? If you don't
Sure,
mind?
ma'am. No
Yes.
problem.
We will have a Q&A session towards the end. Okay. So I hope this is very, very clear by now. Creating the account and how we are going to create a quiz. Okay, great. So can we move ahead with the demonstration of a live quiz? Yes? Can you please type in yes? Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, so playing a live quiz for the demonstration purposes, I will be showing you both the screens. That is what will happen on the teacher end. And at the same time, I will also show you what will happen on the student's end. So I'm using a mobile phone emulator for exhibiting the same. So let's start. So we are back to our dashboard. Our quizzes are in my quizzes. So we'll go to my quiz, our quiz, GK1. So we have 3 options. Play the quiz live with live audience. We can assign it as a homework, or else we can do a practice. So for just to see whether it is working fine or not, we can do a solo practice, or we can also share the practice link. So you can ask the students ki khel ke dekh lo sahi hai ya nahi. So that is just for the sake of practice. No points will be graded that time. So we'll play live. Let's see. So we have 3 modes. We have team, classic and test mode. Let us understand classic mode first. As you can see, there is a option of assigning it to a class. It is an optional thing. You can assign it. So currently we don't have a class, but still I'll just show you. So we'll click on select. Yes. So you have no classes, but yes, you can create the classes or connect to Google Classroom. I'll say go to classes. So as you can see, you can connect to Google Classroom or you can create a class. This we will be dealing in towards the last session, last end of the session. So we'll just start with other advanced settings. So now you can see there are few advanced settings. The first setting being how many attempts you want to give to the students. By default, it will be unlimited. You can select the number of attempts. If you select even 1 attempt, then the students will have to log in to Quizzy, then only they can play the game. Otherwise, login is not required. Next is the name factory. You can ask the students to enter their own name or they can use the fun generated names which are available in Quizzy. So that those will be extremely random names. So it's your choice whether you want to know who is playing, what their score is, then you make sure that they are entering their own name. Next is showing answers in the game. When you play, see, basically this has 3 options when you are asking to show answers in the game. So answers in the game is basically whenever they are going to attempt a question, if the question is wrong, they will be shown the right answer, that is on. It has 3 options as you can see, on, validate only and off. So after a question, if it is wrong, they will be shown the right answer as well and their answer is wrong. So that is the setting of on. If you say validate only, then the students will be only told whether the question is right or wrong. But which is the right answer, that won't be told. If you keep it as off, तो बच्चों को नहीं पता चलेगा उनका आंसर सही है या गलत है. It is, they will have no clue. At the end of the game only they will understand. Okay, so these are the 3 options available in show answers in game. Next is show answers post game. Same thing will happen after your game. That is, after the game is over, whether you want to give a review of the questions to the students. So you can say you want to show the questions as well as answers, or you just want to show the questions that they have attempted, or you don't want to show anything. So it is on, questions only, and off. These are the 3 options which are available in this particular setting. Next on, there are certain gameplay settings. As you can see, we go below. So the first one is power-ups. I guess few of you might be in a habit of playing various games, and you might be accustomed with the fact that there are certain fun abilities which a game provides. Or basic example, let us take of Kaun Banega Karodpati. You have lifelines in Kaun Banega Karodpati, right? The most famous lifeline is 50-50, wherein two wrong options are deleted. So if you keep these power-ups on, there are n number of power-ups or lifelines available in this game. So whichever randomly Quizzy is going to give you, you can use that. So some of the fun abilities are two wrong options are deleted, or else in the next question, you are going to get 50% more points. So double the points like a power play or a super over that we have in cricket. So those are the power-ups. It is good to keep it on because it will be fun. Next is the timer, whether the students can see a countdown timer for every question. It is a toggle on or off. A leaderboard, when you're having multiple players, after every question, the student will see whether he is going up in the leaderboard or he is going down in the leaderboard. So he can see that. So it just keeps a competitive spirit on. That's the only thing. You can shuffle the questions. So even the answer options could be shuffled. So different students will see different questions in a random order, and even the options will be shuffled. So in case if you want to conduct a test through Quizzy and you want to ensure that the students are not copying, normally what students do is, "Arey, second question ka answer bata." And the other person will say second question ka answer is option number 3. The second question for both the students will be different, and the option 3 will also be different. So the entire purpose of copying will be defeated. Obviously, Googling you cannot control. As I said, there are certain facts you have to deal with. And then we have a redemption question, wherein towards the end of your quiz, you can ask the students whether they want to go for a redemption question. That is, whatever wrong question that they have attempted, they will be given a chance to give an answer again. वापस उसको attempt करने को. So that is a redemption question. If you want, you can keep it off. Then we have memes. So there is a set of memes which are available. As you can see, there are a lot of memes which are available in Quizzy. You can select one of the sets. You can also create your own set. That we'll see. And so right now I have selected a random set. So any random meme will come up. So that is pretty much your classic game mode. So quiz as a game preferably. The next mode of the game is test. This is more of a serious mode. Certain settings are originally done in this particular mode, like student has to log in. You can change it to unlimited, but then it doesn't make sense. So student has to log in, answers will not be shown. In-game, post-game, timer will be visible, shuffling questions, answers is there. No redemption question, no power-ups, no memes, nothing. It is no fun, it is serious business. So that is a test mode. Team. This is again a very interesting feature of Quizzy. If you have a lot of students, you can divide it into teams. You just have to select the number of teams. Okay, so if I select the number of teams is 4, and if I have 40 students, 10 students per team, they will be randomly placed into teams by Quizzy. We need not have to do the headache of assigning this particular student to this team. Team names are random as well, Quizzy generated. Rest of the settings for teams are same, just like your classic mode. Another thing, as far as teams are concerned, if you want to make sure that one particular student is not there with some other student and you want to shuffle them, you don't want them to be a part of a same group, you can do that with teams. So you can control, even though it is randomly assigned, you can control who can be part of which team. So that is quite possible in Quizzy. So that is your team mode. So these are the modes. For demonstration, we'll be taking a classic mode. We will be playing the game at the end of the session as well. So please pay attention. So continue. So you are supposed to ask the students to open any browser and enter joinmyquiz.com. Please make sure that they are not typing www or http before joinmyquiz.com. They are only going to type in joinmyquiz.com. The moment they do that, Quizzy will open the actual site wherein they are supposed to play the quiz. They are supposed to enter the game code, which is displayed on my screen right now. That is 024026. And they are going to start. See this, The game will not start unless and until the teacher clicks on the start button. As you can see, below the start button, it is written waiting for players to join the game. If I have 20 students, I will wait for 20 students to join the game. Then only I will start the game. And they will also see a waiting screen. So currently I'm going to demonstrate with only one single player. So I will be using my emulator for this case. So let me open up my emulator. So this is the mobile screen of the student. Consider that. So it is, they are typing joinmyquiz.com. So this is how the Quizzy will look in their phones. Very nice. And they are going to enter the game code now. That is 024026. And they will click on join game. So they will be asked their name, no Quizzy generated name. So, and let me enter my name itself and I'll start the game. The game will not start till the teacher starts it. So as you can now see on their screens, there is a message waiting for players to join the game. And on the teacher screen, I can see just below the start button, my name, that is one player has joined. So as in how the players are joined, you can see tabs for those players. Random images are displayed for them. And at the left hand side, you can see the number of players in the game. So currently there is one player, right? There is one player. All right. So we'll click on start now. Yes, start. So parallelly, the countdown begins. The music will be on. I have made sure that the music is off, otherwise you won't be able to listen to me. So on the teacher screen, I can see a leaderboard for all the players. Right now, there is only one player, but I can see a leaderboard for all the players and the questions which are being attempted live. So on the student screen, the student will be entering. So let's see the first question, and I can see the timer as well, as you can notice. There is a small bar. So right answer, my accuracy meter will move ahead. This is the meme, as you can see, looks like you peaked. And this is the leaderboard. There currently only one player, so nothing you can see. Next, polling question, right answer no matter what we select. So accuracy meter moves ahead. Next question, what are the symptoms of corona? See, there is a timer bar. Let me select a wrong option. Okay, so answer is wrong. Yes, I can see the right answer as well. My accuracy meter is now shifted to 67%. Yes. Apple. So wrong answer again. So my accuracy meter has again shifted down. So this I can see for every player, and the above accuracy meter is overall for the class. And below I can see player wise. So opinion, it is dangerous. Standard answer, it is going to be right itself. So 60% accuracy. Okay, I get a power up. Very nice. So the power up play that I get is I will get 50% more points for next 20 seconds. All right, good. So next question, corona was first detected in the Dash province of China. If you want, you can activate the power play just by clicking on the activate button. So you'll get more points provided your answer is right, otherwise not. So let me enter Hubei. Okay. So again, 50% accuracy. The right answer is displayed on the screen, as you can see, Wuhan. Yes. Redemption question, as I said, you can ask the students to reattempt the wrong ones. So there are three options you can choose. Three questions were wrong, so I can just select one of it and reattempt it. Chance for redemption.
Before giving you the example of deep learning, I will give you the example of unsupervised learning again.
Kindly please mute your mics. Okay. So Wuhan, yes. So the game is now ended. Because it's only one player, the entire game will be ended. And I can see the first rank. If there are multiple players, Unless and until all the players are not finished, you cannot see the first, second, and third ranks. On the mobile screen, as you can see the number of correct questions, right questions, you can see the rank, you can see the score of the points. And on the teacher's leaderboard, you can see an overview. You can also see game highlights, what is the class accuracy, the toughest question, the longest question, overview of how the player performed. You can also mail this quiz report to the parents, though for us, maybe it not be good. You can also see individual time taken for all the questions. You can also see question-wise report, like which question was answered in how much time, which was correct, which was wrong for that particular player. So you can see a in detail view of everything. Also, you can download this report in a form of Excel by clicking on download results. Okay, we can see review questions. This will give you an overview of how many questions were attempted by how many players got it right, accuracy percentage, the average time which was taken by all the players. So this is more like a class level, quiz level data that you can take up if required. And for reports, you can click on download results. If not here, you can come back to your dashboard. So let me exit. So exit. I'm coming back to my dashboard, and in the reports, I can see the first, this was a recent game that completed 6 minutes ago. So I am going to download the report of this GK1. I played it thrice, so it is appearing thrice. So you can download the Excel, you can rename the report, or you can also delete the report. So let's download the Excel. Yes, you can just download it. Let me download it to my desktop. Okay, yes, save. All right. So yeah, this is how the report looks. You can see a player level, how much correct answers, incorrect answers. This is a class level report. Also, you can get an individual player level report as well. If you see on the next sheet, this is accuracy percentage that you can see for the class as well as for the player. So if you actually want to conduct an online MCQ exam, you can do it with the help of Quizzy as well. So even that is quite possible. The only thing you have to understand is to convert the points which are received by the students, and you want to convert those points into, say, marking category, whichever you want, or in a percentage format. But that could be done by simply applying some sort of a formula. So yeah, that is how we play a live quiz. So I hope all of this is very, very clear. If so, can you please again reply yes into the chat box? Yes, if this is clear, can you please reply? Yes. All right. So kids do find this game quite interesting whenever they are playing, because it's a fun way, and anytime a fun way is appreciated when you want to teach them new things. So teaching learning through games and through fun is always appreciated. Lastly, I would just like to show a few additional aspects of Quizzy, the settings which are there. Just brush up for those additional features which are available. It won't take much of a time. So as we saw that we can, as I said previously, you can create your own classes. So let's see how those are created. So I'll click on classes. So either you can connect to the Google Classroom, which will be easier if you already have a Google Classroom in place, or you can create a class in Quizzy as well. So we'll connect to the Google Classroom. Let's see how it's done. Then we'll click on Gmail account. We'll give the permissions. Permissions need to be given. So allow. Yes. And then you have an option of import the Google classes. So if you're having multiple classes, you can choose. Right now I have only one, so I will just select that, my English class. You can ask the students to enter their guardian's email address. In case you want to send the report of the students, you can make them insert their guardian's email address, though this would be preferable for school level kids because our kids are very smart. So it's better we don't opt for it. But if you want to do that, you can definitely go for it. So what basically happens is the moment you add this class, a notification is gone to all the students in your class to join Quizy, and they will be demanded their guardian's email address in case this checkbox is checked. But currently, let me keep it as uncheck, or you can just check it, whichever feature you want. So I will just click on save. All right, so now as you can see, the Google Classroom is imported successfully in my classes in Quizy itself. So right now it does not have any students, so you cannot see any records. It's an empty class for demonstration purpose. Now we'll see how we can create a class in Quizy. So we'll click on create new class and we'll enter the class name, say match batch 2. I can select any color code. It's just the color bar that will appear. Again, the same option, whether I want the students to enter their guardian's email. So I will create a class. The moment you do that, for adding the students, you will be given a link. This link needs to be shared with the students. This link is available for 14 days. After that, you will have to generate a new link. So you can copy this link, you can share it through WhatsApp or Google Classroom or Facebook or whichever medium of communication you use for connecting to your students. So you just need to share this link with them. Okay, so we have created the class. Next, we are supposed to enter the link which is shared to the student to be a part of this class. If the student is not logged in, they will be asked to create an account. So to be a part of a class in Quizy, you have to log into the account. So whenever the students log in, they have to log in as a student and not as a teacher. That's the ideal thing. Here I have already logged in and the student name that I have selected is Alan Smith, just a dummy random name. So logged in, so Quizy will open up. Alan Smith, and I will see a pop-up message that the teacher name, that is Samruddhi Kotibhaskar, invited you to class on a Quizy. So the name of the student is Alan Smith and you are supposed to enter your parent or guardian's email address. Then you can either decline or accept the invite. If this is not made compulsory, that is the guardian email address, then without typing the email address, you can simply accept it. But because I had checked the box, so I have to compulsorily type in the email address of the parent or of the guardian. You can also change the student name by clicking the icon which is beside Alan Smith. So let me type in some email address of mine itself and I'll click on accept invite. So you are in. So now the student is a part of the class, but there are no games or quizzes assigned yet. So we'll come back to the teacher dashboard. Teacher is going to refresh the list. And as you can see, Alan Smith is now added along with the parent or guardian's email address. So you can now assign a quiz, you can find a new quiz, or you can select our own quiz that we have created and you can assign it to the student. So we can now click on assign homework because we don't want, you can play live as well, but we can select assign homework, say, and you can give a deadline for the homework that this till this day, till this time you're supposed to complete it. Deadline is not more than 1 month. Sorry. So you can select the time, so 1 day and 6 minutes. I had this pre-recorded on 21st, so that's the reason why the date is that one. Now I'll select the assigned class. I have a class created. So I will select the class, say match batch 2. I will give the assignment title, say GK test 1. And I will also say when the game should start, whether it is now or some other date I want to start. So I can control when the assignment will be active. If you select the current date, make sure the time is right. So you cannot pre or post dated, you can do it, pre-dated cannot be done. All right, so class is added. And now we can click on assign game. So the moment that is done, the game is assigned to the student. He can do that by clicking on join my quiz. Notification will go to his page. You can add more students by generating a code. And this is the overview of how many students are assigned, how many completed, how many have kept it incomplete. You can print this report or you can even download the report. If you want to add others to this quiz, you can simply share this code. and you can add some other students from some other class as well. Or you can share the link with the help of Google Classroom, Teams, or any Canvas or copy link, share it on WhatsApp, even that is possible. Ending the game is going to deactivate the assignment. Please understand that. If you end the game, the assignment will be deactivated. Nobody will be able to play it. And because this assignment was not played, it will not turn up into reports. I'm into reports right now and I cannot see the report of this assignment. Reason being, no player played it. Unless a player plays a quiz, reports will not turn up. So that has to be clearly defined. Okay. So if you don't want to assign it to a class and you want to keep it open for anyone, see, right now, many of the colleges are doing so many activities. One of the famous activity that has been undertaken is quizzes, national level quiz, international level quizzes that we are attempting for students as well as for faculties. So for generating these kind of quizzes also, you can use Quizzy. In that case, you need not assign it to any of the classes. You can simply assign the quiz. You can decide the deadline when it will be active, by 1 day, 2 day, whatever it is, and you can simply share the link with the teachers or students who you wish to participate in this particular quiz. The settings of this are the same, no changes in that. So without assigning, I will continue. The quiz will be active. I will simply share this link or I will give the game code, and anybody with this game code can now play it. After the game is done, I can print the report, I can download the report. If I want to deactivate it, I can simply say end game. One thing about Quizzy is maximum 500 players can play live, not more than 500, but I think that is a decent enough number of players. Also, if you're assigning and you're keeping a quiz, online quiz with the help of Quizzy for participants, in a day, 500 participants can play the quiz. So after 500, no responses will be accepted. After 24 hours, say 1 day, next 500 participants can play. So if you want that, you want more than 500 participants, you can have multiple quizzes, or you can simply duplicate the quiz and you can give different links to different people, so that more number of people can play it. That is possible. Next, we will come to collections. Okay, I already have a collection made. Let me just delete it first. Yes. So collection is basically a logical group wherein you can segregate and you can organize your quizzes. See, as a teacher, I may be teaching different subjects, and for different subjects, I will be having different quizzes. I want to group them together. So all the quizzes which are related to English will be stored in collection named English. If it is related to maths, it will be stored in maths collection. So it is just a logical grouping, that's all, just to make it more organized. Nothing great about it. So for creating a collection, simply create a collection. It's like a folder having same type related files. So GK quiz, you can give the name of the collection, decide whether it is public or private. I prefer private, and create collection. So right now there are no quizzes in this. Let me add it. I will click on it. I'll go to quizzes created by me on the right hand side, and I will simply click on save. I will select the collection name I want to add it to, and I will say done. Yes. So now you can see the collection, one quiz is added, and that quiz is your recent quiz that you created. Yes. You can also remove it if you don't want it to be a part of collection. You can delete the collection by clicking on delete. Please understand, deleting a collection will not delete your quizzes. It is just a logical group. Your quizzes are stored elsewhere. You have to delete your quizzes separately. Just deleting a collection will not delete your quizzes. So no problem if you simply delete a collection. That's absolutely fine. Your quizzes will remain intact. Okay. Last part is memes. So as you saw, there were certain funny memes. You can create your own memes. So by clicking on create a meme set, and you can give the name of the meme set as my meme set. That's quite simple to understand. Public, private, done. So you are basically add images for correct answers and right answers. They are called as correct memes and incorrect memes. For uploading the image, you can simply click on the plus symbol which was there, and you can upload an image, whichever image you have. Currently, I don't have any images as such, but this is how you do it. You can upload the image and search. Right now, no images. Okay, so I have correct memes and incorrect memes. Your meme set will not be active if you do not include even a single image. So minimum one image, one correct meme or one incorrect meme has to be included. Otherwise, this meme set will not be activated and you cannot use this meme set in your games. This is only to the people who are fond of memes. It is not a compulsory thing. I myself, I am fond of memes. I find them very funny. So I'm quite active on Insta as well. So I love reading to memes. So if you are a person like that, you can definitely go for memes because these days kids love memes. Some of the kids, they actually create memes as well. So meme creator is becoming like a new job profile, kind of unpaid job profile, no doubt. But still, it's fine. So what I was saying is basically you need to have at least one image of a correct meme. Otherwise, this will be incomplete and you cannot use it. So that was your memes part. This is only to ensure it is fun for the kids to answer. So yeah, this is pretty much everything that a Quizy has. Right now, let me just click on delete the meme set because I don't have any images. So as you can see, there is an error message. You need to add at least one correct meme. Otherwise, it cannot be used. It is incomplete. Okay, delete. So yes, that was pretty much your Quizy. Let me take a quick revision of what we saw in Quizy. We first saw account creation. We saw how a quiz is created. We saw a live quiz and how the reports are generated. We also saw how to create a class wherein we can also collaborate with Google Classroom. We also assigned the quiz to the class and we saw collections and meme set. So this is pretty much everything that Quizy has. I hope all this is clear. If so, can you please type in yes in the chat box so I would know that you are on the same page with me? Yes. All right. So I do intend to play a live quiz with you all. I have a nice small 10 question simple quiz with me. So I hope you all are interested. If so, please type in yes, because I would want you all to actively participate. Have a first-hand experience of how it feels. Be a student for a day. It will be fun. Why not? Right? All right, let's go ahead. So, time for a live quiz. Are you ready? Yes? Okay. All right. Ready? All right. So can you see me? Am I visible to all of you? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Great, great. So let's start with the live quiz now. Okay. So can you see my screen? One of you can just unmute yourself and let me know, please. Okay, great. So the quiz name is I Didn't Mean It Like That. Yeah, it's a very तो काफी बार हम लोग बोलते हैं अरे मैं वो नहीं बोलना चाहता था. So it's just a communication game which I played. It's a very simple English related game. We will play it in teams. We have a lot of participants. So I'll click on continue. So I request all of you to go to your browser, type in joinmyquiz.com and enter the game code 418476. Please, I'm waiting. Go to your browser and type joinmyquiz.com. Don't enter www or http and simply enter the game code. Oh, yes, I can see people are coming in. Yes, there are 4 teams which are by default. 4 teams, 4 participants. Yes, please others join in. Yes, very nice. Great. You are randomly assigned to teams: morning owls, dancing slugs, lazy squirrels, eerie elephants. Amazing. Yes. Amazing. Once I start the game, others will not be able to join. Currently, I have 24 participants. I'll wait for a minute before starting it. I hope you can see the quiz code. Okay, let us wait for 4 more participants, 50, and then we can start. So here it will be team score. It will not be an individual score. We are playing it in team. Let's see which team wins. Oh, great, great, great. Lovely. Shall I start? Okay, so we have 57 participants. So I'm starting the game. Anybody wants to join? Okay, 60 of you are in. All right. So I'm starting the game now. Others will not be able to join once the game starts. Okay. All right. Start. Okay, let me just switch off the audio. All right. Start. The game has begun. Please do attempt.
Screen. Someone has changed.
Eerie elephants are in the lead. It's point based. The quickly you answer, more points you score. Oh, owls have taken over elephants now. Morning owls are in lead. I can see it on my leaderboard. Amazing. Morning owls, you are on lead. The game will automatically end after everybody has finished attempting it. Come on.
అవ్వలేదు ఇస్తాను ఇక్కడ వచ్చండి ఇచ్చా ఇక్కడ రేట్ చేస్తున్నారు
Are you guys done?
Ma'am.
A few of you are still playing. Morning owls, they are still playing. Okay. So shall I end the game? I'll end the game. Let's see. So the winner is
Elephant.
So elephants are winners, and then second is morning owls, and slugs are on the third position. So that's how you play the game.
Go,
This
Rana.
is in teams. We can also see individual players report who got how many questions, right? Okay. So that's pretty much how you play an online game. Use the help of Quizy. So I hope all of you enjoyed, and that's all from my end. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. It was a great experience. Thank you. Over to you, Anita ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Just now we have finished with the game and we
Oh,
loved it.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Savita, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Hi.
it was nice
Ma'am.
session and so practically we enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Now it's time for a question answer session. Sherin, ma'am, just
Yes,
over to
ma'am.
you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question that says, how can we set the total time of the quiz, not for the individual questions? I'll repeat,
There is
Paramjeet
no
Kaur, ma'am.
There is no option for setting the overall time. What you can do is you can keep same time for all the questions. Like if you say you have 10 questions, 30 seconds each. So 30 to 10, that will be your overall time. So you can do that way. That you will have to calculate in that case.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, another question from Archana Mukhedkar, Assistant Professor of SMDM Mahavidyalay. Ma'am, what is the difference between Google Form quiz and Quizy?
Google Form quiz is a basic quiz. It is not meant for quizzes. Google Form is basically to accept data when you want to do some sort of a survey or gather the information. It was never meant for quizzes. It was later on added as a feature to be conducted as a quiz also. But there are no options of adding time limits, or you cannot make it interactive much. There is no control as to how many players can play it. There is no live session that now, as you can see, I can see a leaderboard. So you cannot see any leaderboard. You cannot, after the quiz, you can download and then you can take out the Excel sheets. And as it's clearly evident that the graphics are much nicer in Quizy as compared to Google Form. It is very plain. So you can definitely stick to Google Form if you find that is easy. There is no right or wrong. It's all about your comfort. I find Quizy more interesting because it's graphics. I love that. It's a game way.
All right, ma'am.
So
The next question is from Dr. KB Singh. Uh, can we take the quiz during an online class?
yes, absolutely. Just the way I did right now. We are in an
Uh,
online session and I took a quiz.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we enjoyed that as well.
Yeah. Thank
Uh,
you.
Ma'am, next question is from Rohit Gupta, sir, from Government Degree College, Kishtwar, Jammu and Kashmir. Can we incorporate virtual lab in our e-lecture so that my students can take hands-on during lecture?
Lab
I'll repeat,
related to subject.
I'll repeat the question. Can we incorporate virtual lab in our e-lectures so that the students can try their hands during the lecture?
In Quizy, you don't have that.
Okay.
Hello.
I just read one question which said, can we add other subject questions? Yes, you can add. Whichever symbols are available, in the demonstration I showed you that there were multiple symbols which are available. So if you can use those symbols and you can draft questions. But understand one thing, this is basically for quizzes. If you want to use diagrams, or you want to, as just ma'am just question saying some online labs, you will have to go for some other tools. This is just one of a tool. There are multiple tools which are available. So this was just a basic one which could be used by anyone. So I opted for this tool.
Okay. There is another question in the chat box by Rupali Jambal, ma'am. from GCW Parade, Jammu and Kashmir. Can we add biological diagrams or graphs in between the questions?
Yes, you can do that, provided you have a JPEG image of the same. If you have a JPG image of the same, you can simply add it. Just the way I added the smiley image. You can easily do that. No problem.
Okay. There is another question from Chitra ma'am. Can we allot grades manually depending on the question?
Sorry?
Can we allot grades manually depending on the question?
Depending on the question, then you will have to see the time which is taken up by the student for attempting that question, and you have to decide onto a standard formula. You invent your formula that if the student attempts in 10 seconds, this is the grade that I will give him. If he attempts in 20 seconds, this is the grade I will give him. As you can see, you can check out individual time the student have taken for attempting the question. So you can grade him accordingly. थोड़ा उसमें मेहनत लगेगा, रेडीमेड चीज़ें नहीं है. अगर आप मार्क्स के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बात कर रहे हो, then you will have to come up with some formula which is suitable for you.
Ma'am, next question is from Jaydeep Pawar sir. How to document the results for NAC?
Results for NAC, you can take out that Excel sheet and you can show that. The report that we generate, that Excel sheet, you can format it a bit and you can show it. Also, as whenever we take anything E and if you want to provide it as a proof, screenshots is one thing that you can take up. Also, you can put a recording. So whatever the session, live sessions are happening, you can always go for a e-recording. You can take out screenshots, and also there is an Excel report which is available. It has a timestamp, date, and everything. So that won't be.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one more question from Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Dr. Shraddha Verma ma'am has asked, can we use it for Hindi medium students?
Hindi language is not yet supported. So that is what.
Only English is supported, right?
English and other country languages. So Hindi is a bit of a problem. They might come up with an upgrade. If they do so, well and good.
Okay. There is another question from Rupali ma'am, Government College, Kaital. Can we make circuit diagrams in quizzes?
As I said, circuit diagram, biological diagram, or any diagrams for that matter, whether it's a flow chart in IT, you should have those diagrams in JPG format. So if you have it on Google, download that image or draw it, click a pic of it and have it in an image format, and then you can upload that video or that image in your quiz. That is quite possible. You cannot draw it. You cannot draw online. You should have a ready-made image available with you. You can just upload that image. As I said, for drawing, you have different other applications or tools.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I think that's it with the question answer session. There are a lot of feedbacks that we are receiving. That it was a very interesting session that was conducted. Everyone was able to enjoy during the session. So there are a lot of positive feedbacks that we have received up until now. So thank you very much for this interesting, fruitful session, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope everybody has.
Yes, Sherry, in the group there is one more question. They are asking, can we generate the certificate in Quizy?
No, certificate you cannot generate in Quizy. You should have some other application for generation of certificate. This is only for students to have a live quiz. So if you're trying to incorporate Quizy with the help of, as I gave an example that we are having so many national level quizzes which are going on as events, especially for NAC that we are conducting these days. So in that case, you should use some other formula or some other application. You can use Certify M, or you can use Autocrat, or you can use Outlook and mail merge the certificates and then dispatch the certificates. With the help of Quizy, you can definitely take up email addresses so that sending of the e-certificates will be easier. What you can do is you can add an open-ended question asking the students to enter their email address. So you can collect email addresses with the help of an open-ended question. So depending on the score, if you want to send the certificate, the email addresses are with you. Because by default, there is no option of collecting the email address from the external students. From internal students, if you create a class, there is no issue.
Hello,
That's it.
Samruddhi ma'am. There is one more question. Can we use this Quizzy for other language like Hindi?
Right now, there is no support for Hindi or Marathi. The fonts are
Oh,
not yet available.
okay, ma'am.
Uh, what we can do is we can just try copy pasting it from Google Translator. I have not yet explored that. We can check that out though.
Okay,
But inbuilt it is not there.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. I think we are done with all of the questions. One important thing that we need to address is that the feedback link or the attendance will be shared right now in the group as well as in the chat box. And the certificates will be sent until 28th of May. So the feedback link will be open for 30 minutes. So requesting all the participants to fill it within 30 minutes and make sure that you are having a full name and college name because that is what is going to reflect on the certificate. So yeah, that's about it with the instructions as well. So over to you, Savita ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Shirin ma'am. Thank you, Samriddhi ma'am. Now I would like to request Assistant Professor Mrs. Sarojini Biradar to present vote of thanks.
Thank you, Savita ma'am. Yes, Honorable Principal Sir, and our coordinator Anita ma'am, and all the participants. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Assistant Professor Sarojini Biradar, on behalf of Department of Computer Science and Information Technology from Rajiv Gandhi College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Vashi, Navi Mumbai, extends a very hearty vote of thanks to our principal for giving us opportunity to organize this national level workshop on making e-lecture vibrant and interactive. It is a biggest day for us. First time we arranged this webinar, more than 150 participants are in this session. We have been fortunate to be assisted by our principal and his encouragement to arrange such a lectures and such a webinars. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of Rajiv Gandhi College of Arts, Commerce and Science, I express my heartfelt thanks to our resource person, that is Mrs. Samruddhi Koti Bhaskar. I personally liked the ma'am's demonstration and the way she mentioned the need of digital learning in an interactive way. This is very important in the today's scenario. The way in which she explained it was extraordinary, and what all the participants is enjoyed much with the playing the quiz and all. So thank you very much, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. I would like to extend my heart thanks to our coordinator Anita Yadav ma'am for her dedication and support to organize this session. And also I would like to thanks to Sherin Varghese for handling this session very smoothly. And all the organizing team members, thank you very much for cooperation for to arrange this webinar. Last, I would like to thanks all the participants for making this workshop success. And once again, thanks to everyone for this making this success for attending this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
So interesting session.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we can disconnect.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have done. So we can disconnect.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
stop the
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am, once again, Samruddhi,
Thank you
ma'am.
so